Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Yulia Putri Utami. I'm from PBAB 2019. Okay, in this video, I will explain about discourse analysis and English language teaching. In this material, I will discuss two main points are the concept of English language teaching and the relationship between discourse analysis and language teaching. First, we will discuss what English language is. As we know, learning. It is learning English, but have we ever talked about what teaching really means? How is that teaching, and what kind of teaching is good and right? To answer that question, we can use two ways, namely through the virtual way and real way. Virtual way, which is, as the name suggests, virtual, which is related to the internet, or it can be said that in this way we will understand the definition of this teaching using online dictionaries found on the internet. The second is the ritual way. It contrasts to the virtual way, which uses the internet to find out the definitions. In the ritual way, we will observe directly what activities are carried out by the teacher when teaching in class. Teaching from a virtual point of view or based on online definition says that teaching is a task carried out by teachers to help students learning something. Meanwhile, from the point of view of the riddle way, is an activity to observe what teachers do in general when teaching. There are three things a teacher must do, or a professional teacher will do these three activities, namely pre-teaching, while teaching, and post-teaching. I will briefly explain about these three things. The first is pre-teaching, which is an activity before teaching or about what preparations are made by the teacher before teaching. At this step, the teacher's obligation is to make and lesson plan and teaching materials. The preparation carried out by the teacher at this step is that the teacher must be able to plan what will be um, teach and how to teach it, or knowing what and knowing how. In planning what, the teacher seeks to identify what must be taught or what must be teach, determine the type of material to be taught, and of course make a syllabus or lesson plan. To get answer to all of this, the teacher must conduct a need analysis to find out what students need and abilities. And abilities are so that they can plan materials and learning that are appropriate and according to goals. Next is how to teach, which is a plan regarding the process of identifying the right teaching method or in accordance with this material to be teach. At this step, a situation analysis is also needed, which includes students' learning styles and remaining preference and student preferences. Why do a teacher have to do this? Why is it important? Because by doing a situation analysis, we can determine the right teaching method because we already know how students' learning style and um, tendencies are. For example, if students like to study in groups, we can use the community language learning method. After doing the pre-teaching or preparation stage, the next stage the teacher will do is the implementation stage or while teaching. At this stage, at this step, the teacher will implement the teaching methods and teaching materials that have been prepared previously. At this stage, we will look at how to apply the principle of teacher teaching, and such as how teacher teach lesson and how teachers motivate students. The last stage after preparation and implementation is the evaluation stage, or it's called post-teaching. It's an activity carried out by teacher after carrying out the process of presenting materials to students. As the name implies, the teacher will evaluate the effectiveness the effectiveness of learning process that has been carried out. A learning process is said to be effective if it success in producing in accordance with the objectives. After knowing the definition of teaching from the point of view of the virtual way and real way, we can draw a conclusion about the definition of teaching, which is the process of transferring knowledge or providing knowledge about English to a group of students who do not use English as their mother tongue or first language. In teaching English, a teacher must carry out three very important steps, namely are pre-teaching or planning, while teaching or implementation, and the last post-teaching or evaluations. Evaluations. Okay, that was the conclusion from the first point regarding the concept of English teaching. Now we will move on the discussion of the second point, namely how the relationship between discourse analysis and language teaching. To get the answer, we have to study two things: are the trend in English language teaching, or a third theoretical perspective, and the trend of English language teaching in Indonesia, or a factual perspective. The first is about the trend in English language teaching, or what the trend in English is like in current developments in the world. Usually, the teacher is full of one thing that is very important when giving knowledge of English to students. What is thing that is very important? Yes, the answer is of course about is use. Why is it important? Why is it important? Because if students know about the context, then students will have difficulties. Because if students don't know about the context, then students will have difficult obstacle in understanding the function, which result in students not being able to interact properly. These are known as pragmatic difficult, 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 difficulties in building understanding when interacting because one person does not understand. The second is the trend of English language teaching in Indonesia. In Indonesia, there are problems what students get is lack of knowledge function because it accepts too many components or other basic skills. In addition, in providing knowledge, teacher more often ask students to memorize and repeat and repeat. This will certainly be difficult in developing students' English skills. So, what should the teachers do? The teachers can do a discourse analysis because by doing discourse analysis, the teacher can find out um, how actually use right English language, and then the teacher will plan or start thinking about teaching English functionally and contextually to complement the textual grammatical teaching. The conclusions, the conclusion regarding the relationship between discourse analysis and language teaching is that the two are closely related and cannot be separated because the object of discourse analysis is language, and the existence of language means that there is discourse analysis. Okay, I think that's all from me. I apologize for all my mistake. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.